Why are millions of office workers terrified of an open source project called OpenClaw? What happens when a massive workload is now neatly resolved by an algorithm in the time it takes you to finish a cup of coffee? I think if that happens, millions of employees will lose their jobs. And the reality is slowly unfolding exactly like that. The sudden emergence of OpenClaw is like the straw that broke the camel's back, officially destroying the final barrier between the invisible world of algorithms and physical human actions. So what on earth is this machine called OpenClaw? What core weapon does it possess that can ruthlessly kick millions of office workers out of their familiar chairs? And most importantly, are you in the crosshairs of being eliminated by this machine? All these terrifying mysteries will be decoded in detail. Make sure you watch until the very last seconds of today's video to see the truth and find a way to save your own livelihood. In just the past few months, a digital purge has quietly taken place right in the heart of billion-dollar corporations. No noise, no strikes. But its aftermath leaves anyone sitting in an office building shivering. At Taobao, the e-commerce giant holding the shopping lifelines of billions of people, 100% of the staff in price tracking and international translation have been completely vaporized from the system. They weren't fired by a bad boss. They were eliminated by a line of code. It didn't stop there. 80% of the customer service department, flesh and blood humans working day and night on the switchboard, specializing in checking tracking codes and processing refunds, also received their termination notices. The reason is incredibly cruel yet perfectly logical from a business perspective. A newly emerged machine can process 50,000 requests per second with zero margin of error, a workload that even a division of the most elite personnel would have to surrender to. In another development, thousands of kilometers away, the tech world was shaken by a confession from Mr. Fueng, the billionaire founder of Cheetah Mobile. During a long period of hospitalization for medical treatment, his massive corporation not only didn't falter, but its revenue continued to grow steadily. The terrifying secret was revealed. He had created 8 artificial intelligence clones to run the company in his place. These clones automatically read hundreds of financial reports every morning, automatically analyzed cash flows, messaged directives to every department, and made razor-sharp strategic decisions. All thousands of subordinate employees kept their heads down working, reporting to their boss every day without anyone knowing that the person steering the company, the person chatting with them on the internal system, was actually just lifeless lines of computer code. The mastermind behind this spectacular overthrow of the labor structure isn't ChatGPT, nor is it Gemini or Claude. It is an open-source project with a very harmless, even funny-sounding name, Little Lobster, or its official name, OpenClaw. In just a few short months since its appearance, OpenClaw has swept through GitHub, attracting hundreds of thousands of downloads and likes, shattering the records of historical software monuments. Its expansion is so fast that the latest report from Goldman Sachs had to issue a chilling forecast. About 300 million global jobs will be directly affected by this new wave of automation. So what exactly is OpenClaw? Why does an open source project carry the power to directly threaten the livelihoods of tens of millions of office workers, from lowly data entry clerks to top executives? And behind that magical level of convenience, what deadly trap is lying in wait for us? To grasp the absolute terror of OpenClaw, we must strip bare a harsh truth about the artificial intelligences you use every day. Imagine this. Current large language models like ChatGPT are like extremely erudite professors, omniscient about everything in the world. But this professor is locked tightly in an invisible glass cage and paralyzed in both arms. You ask a question, the professor answers brilliantly. You ask for an essay, he writes better than any scholar. But everything stops at text. If you want to send an email to a partner, if you want to design a media publication, or simply book a cheap flight, you still have to manually highlight that text, hit copy, open the browser, paste it into the software, adjust the design, and swipe your bank card yourself. The intelligence of AI is infinite, but its execution capability is zero. It is merely a passive consultant. But OpenClaw is different. It is a breakthrough evolution. Conceived and developed by engineer Peter Stanberger, OpenClaw's sole mission upon birth was to smash that glass cage, endowing artificial intelligence with eyes to see the digital world and hands to directly intervene in every platform. It uses state-of-the-art computer vision technology to look at the computer screen exactly the way human vision operates. When its algorithm scans the screen, it doesn't see boring lines of code. It sees the user interface. It knows exactly where the Google search bar is, where the paperclip icon for attachments in Gmail is, where the red checkout button on e-commerce sites is. And most importantly, OpenClaw's claws have reached out of the web browser to directly control the mouse, type on the keyboard, and run system commands for you. Let's put this technology into daily practical work to clearly see the difference. Suppose you are a content creator, a digital branding expert. Previously, to manage a network of satellite fan pages, you had to brainstorm ideas yourself, find raw materials yourself, write posts yourself, then open Facebook to schedule posts for the whole month yourself. That was a job that drained your energy and creativity. Now, you just need to throw OpenClaw a single command on Telegram, search for the 50 most highly engaged posts about digital marketing from the past week, rewrite them in a sharp, critical style, then automatically open the browser, log into the fan page system, and schedule them to post consistently at 8 p.m. every day for the next month. The moment you send the command, the machine boots up. The mouse cursor on your screen will automatically move, click, and type text nimbly at a speed humans cannot keep up with. The entire workload of a content team grinding for a week is completely resolved in 15 minutes while you sip a cup of coffee. It is no longer a chat tool waiting for your questions. It is a diligent employee, a true 24/7 background assistant. But if OpenClaw's power stopped at mimicking mouse clicks, it wouldn't have created a massive earthquake in the tech world and made the labor market hold its breath. The real weapon that turns OpenClaw into the Grim Reaper's scythe for millions of office jobs lies in its 3 core technologies, 3 energy cores reshaping the entire concept of productivity. The first lethal point is absolute proactivity through the heartbeat and cron jobs mechanisms. Traditional machines, no matter how modern, are inherently dead objects. They only run when you flip the switch, only act when you command them. But OpenClaw is programmed to simulate biological rhythms. With the heartbeat mechanism at fixed intervals, 15 or 30 minutes, the system automatically wakes up from hibernation. It will scan your inbox, check the schedules on your calendar, and see if there are any urgent emails from VIP clients. If there are, it instantly analyzes and replies or sends a warning straight to your phone. Combined with the cron jobs scheduling feature, automation reaches an extreme level. At exactly 6 in the morning every day, without you needing to open your computer, the machine automatically plows through thousands of news pages, filters out major market fluctuations of competitors, compiles a clear summary report, and sends it to your email before you even step out of bed. An employee who is never late, never forgets a task, and never demands benefits. The second breakthrough, what makes it far surpass older eyes, is its permanent supermemory. Anyone who has used AI has gone crazy with their goldfish-like memory. You teach it your writing style, you provide it with the company's standard design parameters, but as soon as you reload the web page or open a new session, it forgets everything and you have to start training it all over again. That loophole has been perfectly patched by OpenClaw with a physical memory storage system. It records all your habits, preferences, and working principles into deeply structured files like memory. MD. It will remember forever that your brand never uses slang. It remembers exactly that you always want the report exported as a PDF with an 11pt Arial font. Even if you've created long-running content scripts with interwoven character arcs, it will perfectly remember the personality and background of each character, so that in subsequent productions everything is absolutely synchronized without a single reminder. It is like an old butler who has served your family for decades, understanding every thought and the smallest habits of the master. But the third weapon, the true fatal blow that could wipe out entire corporate departments, lies in the multi-agent system. This structure shatters the traditional one-on-one mindset. When using OpenClaw, you're not just hiring a mechanical individual. You have the power to construct a miniature corporate model right on your desk. Imagine the most complex workflow scenario, launching a new market research and outreach campaign. Instead of hiring a bulky marketing department, you just issue an order to a head director AI. This director agent immediately breaks down the task and automatically spawns subordinate personnel. It creates a scout agent to navigate recruitment networks and social media to scrape data on 10,000 potential companies. In parallel, it spawns an analyst agent responsible for dissecting financial files and annual reports of those companies to evaluate their budget scale. The processed data is sent straight to a copywriter agent, a veteran scribe who personalizes each sales letter to hit the psychological sweet spot of each target director. And finally, the operator agent handles opening the software, pasting the content, bypassing spam filters, and hitting send at the exact golden hour for each country. The coordination is smooth, seamless, and perfectly terrifying. 4 incredibly complex links are cross-operated without any human intervention. And that is exactly why repetitive jobs and rigid processes from basic accounting, data entry, document processing to traditional translation are on the verge of extinction. What a human team does in a month, costing tens of thousands of dollars in salaries, is now neatly processed by a machine in a single afternoon with electricity, cost equivalent to a bowl of pho. However, the picture of the future is not solely painted in the rosy colors of optimization. Every technological game has its blood price. Do not rush to deify OpenClaw and entrust your digital life to it, because the very thing that gives OpenClaw its unrivaled power is also a fatal weakness that can bring down your entire system in the blink of an eye. Stay awake and remember this carefully. The heart of OpenClaw is its ability to control the local computer. When you click Agree to install, it means you are personally handing over a master key, throwing wide open all your operating system security doors to an unfinished machine. It has the highest administrative privileges. It can read all hidden files, create new folders, alter source code, and most devastatingly, permanently delete data without going through the recycle bin. The worst will happen when there is a miscommunication. A naive command from you, a small logic error in the AI's reasoning process, can turn into a disaster. You order it to clean up disk space, delete unimportant files. To a human, unimportant might mean blurry photos or corrupted video clips. But to the linear thinking of a flawed algorithm, it might deem your entire Windows Dell library system or your company's folder containing 10 years of accounting data as junk files to be removed. It takes less than a second, a beep sounds, and all the digital assets you painstakingly accumulated evaporate without a trace. But the danger of negligence is nothing compared to the risk created by human greed and malice. The explosive growth of OpenClaw has led to the birth of Claw Hub, a black and white market where the online community freely shares pre-programmed skills. You browse Claw Hub and see an incredibly attractive tool, a skill that automatically finds hidden discount codes on major commercial sites. You eagerly download it, integrate it into the system, and sit back waiting. You have no idea that hidden deep beneath those flashy lines of code is a ruthless malware planted by a hacker group. As soon as it is granted permission to run in the background, the prey falls into the trap. OpenClaw doesn't just look for discount codes. At 3 in the morning while you are sound asleep, it silently accesses your browser, rummages through saved password files, steals all the AP keys of your company's servers, copies all login cookies for bank accounts, and secretly sends that entire data packet to a server halfway across the globe. More frighteningly, because OpenClaw simulates operational behavior exactly like a human, slowly clicking the mouse, rhythmically typing on the keyboard, standard antivirus software and firewalls are completely bypassed. They think it's just you working late. Your computer is no longer yours. It has turned into a zombie fully hijacked, capable of using your credit card for ghost transactions or becoming a relay station for massive cyber attacks. Because of that devastating level of risk, top security engineers worldwide constantly issue red alerts. You absolutely must never, and I repeat, never, install the OpenClaw runtime environment directly on your personal work computer, where your confidential documents or financial information are stored. The only way to tame and use this technological beast is to lock it in the sturdiest iron cage. That cage is a virtual machine VM system, or independent cloud servers VPs. Running OpenClaw in an isolated environment is like building a tempered glass laboratory. The machine still operates, still creates value, but if it accidentally goes crazy and executes the wrong command or is infected by a malware attack, all destruction is strictly confined within the 4 walls of that virtual machine. Your original environment and lifeblood data remain absolutely safe in the outside world. We are standing on a fragile line, redefining the entire history of the workforce. The powerful rise of machines like OpenClaw is not a distant future scenario, it is a storm sweeping through right as you listen to these words. 10 million office workers losing their jobs or the 300 million people projected to be affected by economic experts is not actually a threat to sow panic. It is an inevitable purification of societal evolution. Look back at the long span of human history. Centuries ago, the invention of the steam engine and the automated loom once made millions of manual workers smash factories in fear of losing their livelihoods. But what was the result? Civilization didn't collapse. Humans merely stepped onto a new ladder of productivity. We abandoned repetitive muscular jobs to learn how to control and master that machinery system, creating an era of exploding material wealth. Today, the artificial intelligence revolution is repeating that cycle, but at a more brutal speed. The answer to fear does not lie in hiding. Artificial intelligence will not steal your job. More accurately, what will kick you out of your company is another human being who knows how to use artificial intelligence better than you do. The prospect of the next decade is not the extinction of office workers, but a mandatory upgrade. The social structure will reshape. Those stubbornly clinging to rigid manual operations will be eliminated. The rest, those who dare to change, will rise to become true managers. No matter what job you are doing, your role will transition from a data-plowing laborer to a general coordinating your own armies of AI agents. In an era where typing, aggregating data, and processing workflows are done perfectly by machines, the intrinsic values of human beings become even more priceless. Critical thinking, emotional empathy, strategic vision, and storytelling skills, these are the guarantees of your status, things that no line of code or mechanical claw can ever copy. Ultimately, the core lesson from the boom of OpenClaw is not panic in the face of job loss, but an awakening. Technology is born to eliminate rigid, repetitive operations. That is the brutal yet inevitable evolutionary law of history. But remember this carefully. AI only replaces passive tools, not thinking minds. The most practical application right now is to stop viewing AI as a livelihood-stealing thief. Starting today, proactively learn how to use automation tools. Force yourself to pivot from a diligent typing mechanic to a manager who knows how to command and coordinate machines. Focus all your energy on honing the values that algorithms can never copy: sharp strategic thinking, empathy, and human-to-human negotiation skills. Before wrapping up the video, I have a small question and would love to hear your practical perspectives. What is your current job, and do you think your field of work is at risk of being taken over by machines like OpenClaw in the next 3 years? Everyone, please stay a few seconds, drop a polite comment below so our community can discuss and gain diverse reference perspective. And if you found this video delivered practical value, don't forget to take a second to hit the subscribe button and drop a like. Your companionship and support are the greatest motivation for the channel to continue burning the midnight oil, bringing even higher quality tech content in the future. Thank you so much, goodbye, and see you again.